When I was younger, I came home from school one day and I was just like, I should make a YouTube video today. What should I do it on? It has like 3.4 million views, and that brought in a decent amount of money. I don't normally share how much, but with my friends, I like share all the time. And I'll be honest with you, I made $17,000 from one YouTube video when I was 14. And the reason I say it is not to flex, but just to show like what's possible.
The sound of someone getting married at 21 is traditional, I would say, but it's amazing.
So I am engaged to the love of my life, Brett. She's actually back here. You might be able to see her a little bit on my picture frame. So she is just so amazing and has supported me in everything that I do. A quote that I learned is to walk together towards heaven, because that's the end goal.
You said you can complete a Rubik's Cube in 13 seconds. Then also you could do one with your feet in 20 minutes. What is that all about? Hello everyone and welcome back to the Sonderverse show. Today we have our third guest for season 2. This is Luke Hayes, is that correct?
Haines.
Yep. Right, I missed out the N. I'm going to add that to my notes. So Luke, really good to have you on the show today. I've been referred onto the show by Jacob Ward from Forward Minded Media. He has a lot of positive things to say about you.
Kyle, when you asked me who should be next on the podcast after me, I kind of had a list in my head of some different people, entrepreneurs, business owner, people like that. But I really thought about what I've been preaching to people lately about the talent of our youth, the people that sometimes get the bad note or the bad rap for not wanting to reach out or try, or, the effort's not there. They're like the gimme people. Luke is none of those things. He is someone who sets the bar always. And then he challenges the bar and pushes it further. He opens up his brain to ideas and being challenged. And he's someone who I've learned that when you allow talent like that to flourish, to be fueled and to grow, they produce things that change the game. And so I know a lot of people who play it, but I really want you to talk to the kid who's changing it.
Really interested to dig into your story though today and hear about all the wonderful things that you've told me about in our introduction conversation, and maybe touch on some interesting topics that I know nothing about. So, Luke, if you would be so kind to give our listeners a little bit of an intro about yourself, maybe a little bit why and how you know Jake, and then we can jump into the conversation.
Yeah, for sure. So I'm right now a senior in college studying at Bethany Lutheran College in Mankato, Minnesota, and I'm doing media arts and business. And I absolutely love video editing and just social media in general. As you can tell, my setup is meant for YouTube. I used to live stream on Twitch back in the day, but now I'm full force into video editing for a company, Forward Minded Media, which is the owner and the founder of that company invited me onto this podcast. And thank you for having me. This is such a cool idea. And I love the idea of 6 degrees of separation to literally anyone in the world. And I just thought that was the coolest idea. And I'm like, yep, I'll do it. I've never been on a podcast before, but this just sounds like a great thing to do. And I'm really excited to do it and just, hear more about you and talk more about me and do everything.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it. So yeah, Jake said that you were, he talked in his episode about how he wasn't the most stoked about having graduates as part of his company. He then went complete 180 on that as he's been interacting with various different colleges, and he has been interacting with students, and clearly one of these really bright individuals that he was like, this person's got talent, this person's got a future ahead of them, I can't miss up on this opportunity. So like you were saying, you do the video editing for Forward Minded Media, and you've had your own YouTube channel and streaming, etc. I want to know, so you're still studying, right? That's what you said. You're still studying.
I'm still what?
Still studying.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. So when do you finish? When does education wrap up for you finally?
I'll be done in May, but I mean, I'm a lifelong learner, but
Yeah.
definitely not lifelong going to school. That's not it.
So I asked this question to Julia, and I want to ask it to you because you're kind of in similar positions, and you can take this any way you want in terms of the topic or specifics of your life. But I want to know, are you excited for the future?
I'm definitely very excited for the future. It's also a lot of it of like nerve wracking and just
Mm-hmm.
kind of nervous about what's going to happen. There's a lot of like life after school, and
Yep.
before this, it's been kind of structured. You know, what do you do after first grade? You go to second, and so on.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's like you can do anything. So that is also very exciting, and it's just, you know, everyone goes through it, and I just can't wait to like see what happens. You know, I'm
Mm-hmm.
trusting in God that like no matter where I do like work, where I live, it's just gonna all work out for the best. So I'm very excited, very
Yeah, yeah,
excited.
yeah. Do you have any specific roadmaps or plans on what you want to do? Is there anything that is, I know, like you say, it's slightly nerve wracking. We've talked about things like even just for applying for jobs. I mean, you seem pretty, you might be pretty sorted with stuff like forward minded media. I don't know if you do. Do you do stuff on the side as well? Obviously, video editing is a very mobile skill. It is a very broad reaching, like you could edit anyone's videos really, so long as you've got a similar kind of style to what they would like for their content and the personality and brand of their content. So do you predominantly just do it for forward minded media, or do you do kind of freelancy kind of ad hoc work for other people as well?
I used to do a ton of freelancing, like a little bit more than I could probably handle,
Mm-hmm.
even on top of working with Forward Minded Media. This past summer, I was flown out to Florida to work with some baseball YouTubers and
Oh,
be their
cool.
on-site video editor, which I thought was awesome. I couldn't believe it. I'm a video guy. I'm not like someone who holds a camera. I didn't have to be there technically, although it made transferring footage easier.
Mm-hmm.
But um, I used to do that. Now I've been like, I'm gonna solely edit for as of right now for Forward Minded Media, and then on the side in my extra spare time, I'm gonna start selling editing presets for people who want to like do video editing as a full-time job, because it's a little bit trickier to get into. Like you have to really make sure that you know what you're doing beforehand, and school's not going to teach you close to everything you need to know about video editing. So I want to start a business, kind of a little miniature business, nothing to the scale of a
Yeah.
marketing company like Forward Minded Media, but start my own little business on the side here instead of just doing more work on top of my editing work. But who knows, that might change in the future. I've actually had to turn down a bunch of YouTube like channels wanting to edit with me or
Mm-hmm.
have me be their editor, and I'm just
Yeah.
like, I want to. I want to say yes to everything, and that was used to be a problem I would have, is I would say yes to everything, and now I'm just like, okay, I have to pause and really prioritize things here.
Yeah, and you said that you're potentially looking to start up or reinvigorate a channel of your own. Have you got an ongoing channel that you've always been doing or streaming, or are you diving back into that passion and interest?
I am a little bit with more knowledge from before, because before I would be a streamer. I would love streaming on Twitch, playing video games,
Mm-hmm.
and I actually got up to 11,000 followers when I was
Wow.
like in high school doing that on Twitch, which is like compared to TikTok, 11,000 followers isn't much, but on Twitch, that's a decent amount to have people just watching you play video games.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I absolutely love doing it. Now I'm not doing that anymore, but I am definitely getting started with my YouTube channel. Going to be making some like video editing tutorials
Mm-hmm.
with a big purpose of I love doing it, but also I'm trying to sell products here, and it's more of a business rather than just doing it for fun. So it's like
Sure.
when I was younger, I would do it for fun, and now it's like I don't want it to become a chore because it's a chore I really love doing, but it kind of is
Yeah.
one. If you want to have a business, you have to be making content somehow.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, I totally understand it. In the modern world, content creation, attention, grabbing attention of a community, of a group of people, and gaining followers, not in the sense of like just followers as in like I just watch your content like a fan, but followers either in your message, in your kind of goals in the future kind of thing. So like, especially if you're going to start content around video editing, as a person that's trying to do my challenge complete by myself right now, I'll take any tips. I'm constantly like, I'll see someone else's video and I'm like, oh, that was cool. How did they do that bit? And then I spend like, 2 hours trying to find out how to do that one specific edit. Or if you've got issues in your audio or your video, etc., I'm like, right, who has the best video on how to do this? And even in like my specific software. So I don't know what software or you use. I use Premiere Pro.
I do as well. And
yeah.
I was also going to say, like, you looking up 2 hours to do a single like effect or something, it's like you really have to love what you're doing to do this, because not many people are going to spend that much time just for like probably a minute detail that not many people are going to notice, but to you it means everything. So.
Yeah, definitely. So yeah, I totally understand where you're coming from, Luke, in terms of looking at the minute details and figuring out how to make the most polished and best kind of YouTube videos. What are you doing then with Forward Minded Media? What is your role with that company, with Jake and their mission, and how are you managing that alongside studying at the same time?
Yeah, so when I was brought on, they had one videographer, and then now I would consider myself only an editor. I was obviously willing to go help out and shoot and hold a camera if they wanted, because I was looking for an internship. I just wanted to do anything really, because this company just sounded so cool. But I really settled into the video editing and motion graphics is actually what my title is, Senior Manager of Motion Graphics, because within video editing, there's a lot of things that you can do, but it's more than just, chopping up videos and placing them together. I'm doing logo animations, even 3D animations, doing just a whole variety of like VFX, nothing like crazy Hollywood level, but I love VFX and I'm getting some close similar effects. So yeah, my role as Senior Manager of Motion Graphics, and balancing that with school is a fun one. School, all of a sudden, it's never really been a high priority for me, but it always kind of came easy. For me, it's like down here, besides my one capstone project for my senior media arts thing, which is my side business, which I've said. But managing that has, especially this semester, has been really a bit of not an issue, but my classes are just at weird times, like smack dab in the middle of the day. So I have to like go to work and then take time out of my day to go to a class and then come right back. It's just like an extended lunch break, but it's just really, it's just an awkward time, but it's working, and I'm putting in a lot of hours on both, school and work, and I love it. I love what I do, so it makes it, manageable at least.
Yeah. So when did Jake approach you then to join? And I think, I can't remember if in the episode he recollected how you both got connected, but how was that connection made, and when did he approach you to come on as part of a member of the team?
Yeah, this is a crazy story, and he'll say that everybody who works for him has the craziest story of how they started working for him, which he's told me like a list, and I'm like, wow, this is like a miracle. But basically, he was coming to my college as a guest speaker, and I saw that in like our newsletter, it said Forward Minded Media is presenting in this class at this time. Anyone else is welcome. You didn't have to be a part of the class to join. So I saw the name media, and I'm like, media, that's what I do. And I'm like in a kind of a small town. It's not like the hub, like the cities, the Minneapolis or Chicago or whatever would be for this kind of stuff. So I instantly was like, I should go to that. And then I look at my schedule and I'm like, shoot, I can't make it. I have another class going on. Oh, well, it wasn't a big deal. There's guest speakers all the time. So I'm like, okay. And then my class gets canceled. And last minute, I'm like, wait, I can go to this. I sit down, I hear him talk, and he just happens to be looking for a video intern. Like, out of all the things that he does at his company, video is like a section of that. And I love, like, that is like my section that I just love doing. But like, he just was looking for someone to help Bobby, our videographer, in that section. And I'm like, that's the perfect role for me. My hand shot up, and he was like, talk to me after class. And then the next week I had an interview and started as a summer intern then.
That's sweet. It's amazing how stars align like that sometimes. so when in that initial conversation, obviously you'd already been doing some of your own stuff. So you kind of already had a portfolio of what you was doing. Did you share that with Jake and show him? And obviously, hopefully, there's some stuff that I'm going to hope to put on the screen for the viewers and the listeners.
For sure.
And I've seen some of the videos for Forward Minded Media, like some of the Monday marketing tips, etc. And I've seen the ones where there's the graphics that come up on the screen. I imagine that's your handiwork, right? Where there's, I think I saw
It actually isn't.
Like, is it not? Is it
It
not?
actually isn't. No. We have since then we've brought on another person, another video editor, motion graphics person. So there's 3 of us now in total, and he's actually been doing a great work on the marketing tip Mondays. I love the style that they're running with.
So which bit do you do then? What if I was to find a video and have a look at what you've actually had physical, tangible work on?
There's a lot of like the commercials for local towns or local companies in town, but then also we're going like national level. We've been to Alabama, we're going to Hawaii. We work with companies from all over, and it's like those commercials that I really have a part in, that I like take the footage that Bobby gets, and then we all like share like different pieces of the project sometimes, but then just piecing it together for the final deliverable, whether that's a brand new video or a commercial. And then also recently, 1919 is a root beer company, and I've been doing a lot of like 3D animation, like turning their non-existent brand new product into a can that looks real when it's all 3D, and just making a cool video like that for their social media. So that's just some of the cool opportunities I've had.
That's cool. So where did you first get the love from this? Is it because of, similar to me, like maybe I didn't watch TV, so my TV was watching either YouTube videos, watching other streamers, etc. I dabbled with streaming. I basically tried to stream my World of Warcraft content back in the day, etc. in university. I didn't have the best PC. I didn't have the best kind of setup or the best internet, so that kind of thing it's probably getting easier now, maybe as time goes on, but like you do need a level of investment to get started, and you can always start from like a potato if you want, like computer, and work up to something that's thousands of pounds and dollars, etc. So I did what I could, and it's that same sentiment of you just got to get started sometimes, and then hopefully build a community, maybe get some donations or subscriptions, etc. So yeah, where did you get started with it?
This is a long story, but first off, I want to say that you can start wherever you're at. I mean, almost everyone has a phone, or like me, I'll mention in a little bit, I had an iPod Touch that I started all this stuff on. So you don't need the best things anyways. Like you can start streaming straight from your Xbox by downloading like a Twitch app. You can do all these crazy cool things just without much investment initially. But the way I got started was I saved up, I think it was about $200 from Christmas money, from mowing lawns, whatever it was, so that when I was probably 10 or 11, I bought an iPod Touch camera, or not camera, iPod Touch, like an iPhone, but without the calling feature. I really don't know what the marketing behind that was. I don't really, maybe it was for kids, like I don't know. Anyways, I started an Instagram account playing Clash Royale. I loved playing Clash Royale so much that I would be just always wanting to play it. And when my mom told me no, or, time to get off for a little bit, I would want to go back on later and just start, if I couldn't play, at the very least, like edit some photos or post some stuff on Instagram. And this was at 12 years old. And I specifically remember playing basketball with my brother, who we both started this account together. Although, to be fair, I kind of did a lot of the work. But we were playing basketball, and I was like, I just want to get 10,000 followers on Instagram, because that's when it switches from showing how many followers you have to having like the 10K. And I thought that was the coolest thing ever. So little did I know, like about a year later, I'd hit that as like an 8th grader. I was in the 8th grade. And I eventually got up to 25,000 followers just playing Clash Royale, Clash of Clans, making like cards come out of the chests that didn't exist. Like I could like take, I don't know, like Superman, and he's not, in the game, but I could make him come out of a chest and people would be like, whoa, that's so cool. And they'd get like it and everything.
Yeah.
And then that built up the experience so that when Fortnite came out, that massive hit game, I started a brand new account and I put Fortnite in my name. My name is Fortnite.Scar, and I
Hmm.
already got 100 followers just like that, just because there's so much hype around the game. I didn't even have a profile picture yet. I just had a
Yeah,
ton
yeah.
of bots, tons of random people following me, and that built up the momentum to get to 225,000 followers eventually as like a freshman in high school. And it was just kind of crazy how that all started. And then from there, I wanted to start doing live streaming on Twitch and doing YouTube, and instead of just focusing on Instagram, being like a whole round content creator. That was actually my dream for a little while. I didn't really
Hmm.
want to go to college. I wanted to just play games and make content. But then as I started doing all that, I really didn't like recording. I just knew I didn't really like holding a camera. I didn't like recording myself, but I absolutely loved like perfecting the design of my stream
Yeah,
and
yeah.
having the coolest like overlays and animations that pop up, like someone new followed and just all that. So it was from there that I just really learned that I really loved editing. And even when I
Hmm.
went to college, I didn't know it was going to be editing based. It just was like something that kind of, oh yeah, this is what I like doing. I'm going to focus on this. And then all of a sudden I just went all in on it because I'm
Yeah.
like, this is what I love. This is a good skill that there's a lot of opportunities out there for. And I just kept going with it.
So it was, sorry. So what age did you say that you started doing that?
12 years old. And
12
looking back
years
on it
old.
now was way too young. You're not allowed to have Instagram until you're 13. And I thought my parents were kind of not strict, but like a little bit more compared to my friends. Like people were having Instagram at
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
9 and 10. But like looking back on it, 12 years old is like that's pretty young to be doing all that.
It's an early adopter. So yeah, it's definitely, you've got a little bit of an entrepreneurial spirit in terms of taking risks, being a bit of ahead of the curve, etc., and just figuring out how to make things happen. So you've got this uncertainty about the future. You are finishing study soon, and you are mastering the art of video editing, creation, all this kind of thing. And you've got this entrepreneurial spirit. Do you want to start your own business, or do you want to do a bit more of this, a kind of apprenticeship through another business first, grow with it, and see where that takes you? Because, or do you have like a yearning to have your own thing, similar kind of like a Jake, where you have your own baby? Or would you also be enticed to grow with a company to something that could turn into a massive, national wide corporation, but kind of thing?
Yeah, I've always been just even like in homework, I always kind of like doing stuff solo. So when
Mm-hmm.
I came to Forward Minded Media, it was so cool to be like part of a team and
Mm-hmm.
doing all that. And so for right now, what I can see is like I would love to grow Forward Minded Media and just like imagine like having like being part of Apple, except like in the early days.
Yeah, yeah.
Like I want to just grow that, and that'd be so cool. But on the same like on the other side, I do want to start my own thing, but I don't think it would really compete because I would want to, like I said, I'm kind of like a solo person. I just want to
Yeah.
start up like a cool little company that I do on the side and then
Mm-hmm.
grow that. So then the two can go hand in hand. As for starting a whole company and seeing what Jake does and going through, like, who knows? Maybe when I'm 30, 35,
Yeah.
40, I mean, I could do it when I'm 55. I might have a different idea, but starting a whole something like that is just, it's a lot of work. And I love working, don't get me wrong, but wow, like he loves, like Jake himself, he loves doing sales and he's really good at that stuff and just he can get anyone to buy anything. But now he's said that like, he doesn't really get to do that as much as he wants because now he has like 50 bajillion different things to do.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, ultimately, it depends what like my goals are in the future, but I can just see that taking a lot of time to do a lot of things that I don't want to do. And I'd rather just have a little smaller thing on the side that I get to do exactly what I want to do
Yeah,
when I want
yeah.
to do it. Something like I just always grew up with like me being on social media and like internet money is what I would call it. Is
Yeah,
that
yeah.
I just want to like have a little something on the side and have that do well. But that's also not like that big of a goal either. Like I feel like I can accomplish a somewhat like smaller successful company in a little bit. So who knows what the future has in
Yeah.
store? There's a lot of different ways it could go.
Do your channels or the way that you support people already generate you some revenue, or how do they, and what platforms are you on? Because obviously with the Sonderverse show, I put it onto YouTube, but because it's more of that kind of podcast content, I'm then replicating it on Spotify because they now have videos on there and host video content. And then I put it on Apple Podcasts, and I don't even know if that supports video, if it's just purely the audio. I'm not quite sure. I don't know of any other platforms. I'm sure there's many more out there where you could host this kind of content. Are you predominantly just on YouTube? And if, well, I'm guessing maybe also, I don't know if you're still streaming on Twitch, but like, did you or do you generate revenue? And is that something you would like to keep and grow as like this kind of nice, constant side hustle? Or have you not got there yet? My channel, the channel right now, is nowhere near generating some revenue, and like I've said to many people, and I think many people when they're starting, that's not the end goal, is to do that. I mean, it'd be nice, but it's always started as a passion project, and there's another mission to it. So do you generate revenue, and is that one of the kind of main, would you say, motivating factors for you, or is it all about that sharing your knowledge to the world?
So I used to, when I was younger, on Twitch and YouTube, I would make money through, like, on Twitch it was subscriptions, YouTube it's ad revenue.
Yeah.
And I used to, it was good money for someone in high school. Nowhere near like a full-time income though. That'd be crazy. But what I've learned recently is that you don't need a lot of followers to start making money. You need the right like product, which is why I am starting to get into digital products. So I can sell 1 million of these products and have no cost or very, very little cost to me. So that's what I'm trying to do, because I've seen people with 1,000 followers on Instagram and it's their full-time job because they're spending money on advertisements, doing this and that, and they're not really selling a physical item. It's just so crazy to me, but at the same time, it's also so helpful because I've bought digital products before, so I know what it's like, and some of them are really helpful. So you don't need to be like a huge success to start, but it is also like, oh, what am I supposed to sell, or what links do I help promote other people sell? So it's really tricky, and I don't even know the right answers to a lot of this. But when I was younger, I came home from school one day and I was just like, I should make a YouTube video today. What should I do it on? And I spent the next 5 hours making a YouTube video on how to stream on Twitch. And that's one of the most viewed videos on how to stream, setting up OBS studios and doing that on YouTube. It has like 3.4 million views, and that brought in a decent amount of money. I don't normally share how much, but with my friends, I like share all the time. And I'll be honest with you, that was like a long time ago, and my parents were like, you know, keep that down low. I'll say it right now. I made $17,000 from one YouTube video when I was 14. And the reason I say it is not to flex, but just to show like what's possible. You get one viral YouTube video and it's crazy. And it's just, ever since then, I've been like, oh, this could like really do something, both like as a business, but then also the comments underneath that, my mom said made her cry when she read some of them, because there's 5,000 comments of people saying that this is the best video, best tutorial they've ever seen and helped. And I'm just like, I can do both. And it's actually crazy. So right now, I'll be honest with you, me starting up making YouTube videos again, it is kind of because I want to sell a product. Like that is kind of my goal, but also like, this is just what I love. And it didn't work out back when I was in high school because I just didn't have a product to sell. I wasn't really focused. I was everywhere. But now if I have a goal of like a business that I want to support with my videos, I'm going to fall in love with, I mean, I already like making the videos, specifically editing them. I don't really like talking to a camera because it's just like repeat. You should hear me trying to read a script over and over again. I say the same lines like 10 times. I'm like, and then it's kind of crazy. But I I do want to help a ton of people, and I know that there's a way to do it, and I just have to get the foundations right this time and have like a product to sell and to have a website, and then just that way I can focus solely on the content and really help other people and expand the growth of, like, I call it a business. It's like a one-man show,
It is,
Shopify store type thing, but it is a business for sure.
Yeah. So that, I mean, that's crazy. I mean, appreciate you sharing that, and that definitely puts it in perspective for a lot of people. And I think that is, I remember that they are they're passion projects until they work. I mean, I think if people come into the idea of content creation being like, yeah, the only reason I want to do this is because I want to make some money and I want to be like Mr. Beast and make hundreds of millions and billions, I don't think that's like a great goal. Clearly you started as something, this is what I love doing, I'm just going to share it the world. And generally that authenticity is, and obviously what is actual useful actually is what draws people along. And 3.4 million views is insane. And obviously that kind of content as well. And this is what I'm getting used to now with doing the YouTube and putting it on Spotify and all that kind of stuff, is that back end stuff, the metrics of retention time and when the spikes in kind of interest, etc. Do you, with, I don't know, because if you're doing like the commercials, do you get that level of feedback in terms of like, I don't know if you even get that, but obviously if you watch your own YouTube videos and what you're posting out there, you can see like for your OBS tutorial video, how many people, what percentage are actually watching all the way through to the end. And I imagine a good portion are, kind of thing, because that is content where I don't know how long that video is, if it's 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, etc. But you're probably going to want to watch the whole thing to finally understand how to do the whole setting up your OBS, etc. There's no kind of skipping through as such, or, you know, maybe you only,
it was actually a 5-minute video.
Really?
It was actually a 5-minute video because I wanted to, that's what I hated about YouTube videos. They're too long. Like I could understand, I would have to pause a couple times, and some people like said, hey, this video is way too fast. But I'm like, I'm a person who gets things kind of quickly, and I don't care if I have to pause a YouTube video. I just don't want you talking about what you did last weekend for 20 minutes before you start the video.
Yeah.
So that's what I was like just all about. And then as for like my work, I don't actually get to see the metrics of the commercials that I create, but they're not really for that per se. They're more, our marketing team gets to see the commercials of how many TVs was this placed on,
right,
or how many like people actually they have some really crazy marketing tactics, but those are like the salespeople that really look at the analytics and they'll share useful things with us. But as for me, that's what I really love about my current job with Fortnite Media. I get to focus on making the best video possible, and I don't really have to focus about like the other business side of things or even like delivery. Like I send it to another person in our company and they send it off and we're good to go. So it's a crazy pipeline.
I'd really love to dig into that. So how old are you again, Luke? How old, if you don't mind?
I'm 21.
21. So like, I think this is it's funny how things split up into generations now. And I think how, you know, I don't know why, but on my metrics, for some reason, there's a big spike on the category that is 65 plus watching my videos. And I honestly can't understand why there's such a big spike there. The biggest spike is, I can't remember what the age range is, but basically around the same age as me, like 30s, 25 to 30. That's kind of where I get most of the people watching, basically. Whether it's just a broken thing in YouTube metrics or whatever, but the 65 plus. I don't know if that's just because they've got YouTube on their TV and it's automatically playing and they don't have to turn it over or something like that. I literally don't understand why that's like the second or third biggest demographic that I've got. But kind of like you were saying there, you don't want to see as much that long form kind of waffly content. Obviously the content that you were making was not a podcast, it was an instructional video, so you don't want the waffle in there. I have been, and I don't know if it's my generation, but I've always been I love the reason I've started a show like this is because I just would have long drives for an hour and a half, and I would more than happily sit and listen to the bigger podcasts out there, whether it's the Joe Rogans, whether it's the Andrew Hubermans or Stephen Bartlett's, etc. Even longer videos, like even longer scientific videos where you are actually meant to watch the video, like a Veritasium or something like this. He's got 30-40 minute videos. I can still listen to them. And I'm not visually seeing what's going on. The narration's enough to kind of keep me engaged and constantly learning, hearing other people's perspective. That's what I love. Obviously, the shift now in the younger generations is that everything's all the tension grabbing. It's got to kind of get you there and now. So I think that I'd love to know if you're now beginning to build that YouTube channel up. You've gone from, I just like making nice commercials, and I'm going to hear from the client and capture the soul of what their content is and just make it look great and make it polished, etc. And you don't have to analyze right within. I mean, I imagine you would still, right, maybe 30 seconds in, we need to have some form of hook or whatever. I don't know if you do that or plan that out, these commercials that you're helping with. But with YouTube, you really do. You have to plan, because you've got 30 seconds roughly at the beginning to get their attention. And then somehow you've got to keep them locked in for the amount of time for the rest of the video. So if you're not analyzing that for your commercials that you're helping to make, how are you going to transition that to your own YouTube videos? How are you going to start to make sure that you've got stuff that grabs attention? Or is it just going to be purely, I'm just going to put such good quality out there that people are going to do nothing but watch because it looks so good, kind of thing?
Well, I mean, I always like doing the good quality thing. I love going above and beyond in the effects and just how did you do that camera, like kind of shot type stuff like that. But no, in reality, my YouTube experience has helped me in these commercials because I know you have to grab attention right away. I know that when a commercial is different than an Instagram reel. For example, an Instagram reel, you often want to have music or like something that loops so that when people get like 120% watch time, they watch it over like one time, they watch it once or twice, 3 times. So that content is different, but you always want to start off with the hook. And I'm obviously like, I'm refining every detail of every commercial that I create. And I'm like, does this capture my attention? Is this the best shot for this? Is this the best line that we could say at this moment to deliver like the kind of impact we're feeling? So it's actually, YouTube has helped me a ton in terms of the short grab attention. It's all about attention nowadays.
Yeah, it is.
But in terms of the like longer podcasts that you were talking about, when I was younger and growing up, I didn't know really what a podcast was. Like, it was always that purple app on my iPod Touch that I never touched. I thought it was like, I don't know, I thought it was some old age, like dying medium. But now as I'm growing up and like, you know,
it's massive.
I listen to podcasts all the time, like in the car, or like you said, longer YouTube videos. I just play it like a podcast. And it's just, I love long form content too. It was just mostly about the tutorials that I hated when I'm like, hey, I just need to know how to do a simple thing. And it's like a drawn out video. Like that was what got me. But I love long form content. In fact, I don't ever really watch TV or anything. I'm always, when I was younger, playing video games and then watching YouTube. So
I mean, I'm probably the same as you. Like before, like watching lots of podcasts, because early back in the day there was just only a few. So once you exhausted that video or that listen, you kind of just had to wait until the next one came out. But long form content for me was also like watching Twitch. Like you could watch someone stream for 3 hours. Half the time they maybe not even really be saying too much. You just kind of, it's there. It's just, there's a personality that you like watching and listening on the screen, but then you're just kind of there. Just, it's kind of sometimes in the background passively. And even with podcasts that I listen to, sometimes I'm just tuned out, and then all of a sudden, just because it's kind of that background noise, and then they'll say something, or my brain subconsciously hear them touch on a topic, and then I tune back in suddenly, and I'm like, okay, what they're talking about now, I'm listening again, kind of thing. And it is, for me starting this up, it's weird because it's like how, especially the premise of the show, I'm finding it hard. And I listened to Stephen Bartlett the other day, Diary of CEO, and he was saying about with his content, he's designed some personas, basically, of like, if I make a content, it has to speak to at least one of these 4 personas, basically. So, and I'm like, right, how do I generate personas for what Sonderverse is? I imagine if you're doing your video editing, you're going to have, right, I might have 2 personas. I'm going to have videos for the beginner editor, and then I'm going to have videos for the advanced editors or something like that. And you're going to make content either way. And obviously, if you're then going to make a vlog content, you're going to be like, well, that doesn't fit into either of my personas, so I'm not going to make that content. And I'm like, right, how do I make personas for mine? And I'm like, I can't. I'm struggling to think it up because the topic of conversation and the guest changes so much because of the referral system. Like 1 minute I've gone from someone who's a model, and then I've gone from someone who's a photographer. Then I'm going to someone who is a DJ, and then to someone who's a music streaming person, to a student, to a business owner. And it's like, if you come along and you're like, okay, I really liked hearing about Luke's story from studying to going into editing and then to entrepreneurship, but then you invite someone on who does baseball or basketball or likes to bake, they're like, well, I don't want to watch this anymore. So like, how do you create a persona for this kind of show? I really don't know, because within 30 seconds they might be captivated about what you're saying and then watch the rest of the video. But then next week's video, it's 30 seconds talking about baking, and they just completely switch off. So I think I basically just have to find curious people that just like listening about anything and everything. And it's hard to create.
It's kind of what Joe Rogan does, right?
Yeah, he gets just,
because like he has a bunch of different people.
Yeah.
So I mean, my initial thing, and I'm always thinking like a video editor, but like, what if you had like a sick intro to every podcast that's like, what if you invite, or like, what if you, I'm trying to figure this out like live right now, but like something about the 6 degrees of separation. Did you know you're only 6 degrees away from anybody on this earth? This podcast, some like hype, like voice and all that stuff. And then just kind of really amplify that. And then eventually, as this goes, you're going to get you're going to get a celebrity on here sometime. Like even a minor celebrity, just from someone knows. And then from that, it can spiral.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
that's the thing.
It could be kind of like that.
It needs a proof point. It needs a proof point where I can I'll have that one season at one point where thing is also the one-man band thing. Like I either need to watch a bunch of your videos on how to make a sick, like, because what I'm doing now is and I don't know how you feel about this or even use any of it yourself, but I am obviously trying to use AI to make some of the clips or B-roll of my content, because one, I don't even know what technology you use to make the cool, whether it's motion graphics, etc. I mean, I've done like 1 or 2 tiny little things in After Effects, which is literally, I think as far as I've gone, and again, this took me another kind of like an hour rabbit hole on YouTube to find out how the tutorial on how to do this. But basically, the only thing I've done in After Effects is when I get the previous guest to say like a voice note about why they've invited the person on, I have that kind of volumizer thing, animation on the side, so it looks like they're talking kind of thing. That's the extent of my knowledge. So now if you expect me to, and I've asked ChatGPT, I've asked Nano Banana, Google one, Gemini one, can you make me a cool animation to kind of visualize the 6 degrees of separation? And honestly, it's trash. Everything that it spits out just looks crappy, cheap, or clearly very AI. And the easiest way for me would be to, like, obviously once I've got a really good proof point or case study of where I've gone from person number 1 to someone quite either interesting or knowledgeable, you could obviously just easily put their 6 pictures on a screen and animate that. That would probably be quite easy, but it's hard to go and find that. And I know that I'm very jealous. Veritasium, again, I don't know if you know him, but he's a science YouTuber. And he's been on this platform for ages, and he's now grown his channel massive, and he's got a full team of editors and animators and all this kind of stuff. And the most interesting thing for me is I started this, I think, July last year, And then a month or two later, he then put a video out about the 6 degrees of separation and how it all works. And he has really cool animations to visualize that. And I'm like, I wish I could steal his content and put it as the intro for mine to explain the concept.
So
But
it's not really ethical, but you could. What you have to do with AI is you have to like feed it a ton of different things, and it's more important that you have an idea of what you want it to create, and then you can just tell it how to get there. You could take a screenshot of that video and like be like, hey, recreate this as a really cool image, but this time use my colors, add this image, because you can do multiple sometimes. And then you take that image that it gives you, it's probably going to be 50% of the way there. You keep refining it till it gives you a perfect image. Then you take that image, throw it in a video AI, and then it takes a lot of trial and error. So like you are still doing a lot of the work to have to like have your vision come through.
So do you in your either planning process or actual finished stuff, do you use much AI in terms of either, you know, even just 15 seconds quickly, all right, I just want to brainstorm an idea of what we could do here. Do you use that? I remember when I spoke to Tom, one of my friends, about photography, I thought you wouldn't do that. But he was actually using AI to kind of like mock up sets of like when he would, you know, I think he can even get like mock lighting set up with some AI prompts, etc. You can also mock, if you're doing like an editorial shoot, like you could get their photo and then you could prompt it to move them into a position for a certain like, you know, pose before even having the model in front of you. So like they could think about the shots that they're going to be taking so they could be more efficient. So if you're doing like a commercial for someone, would you kind of draft up maybe and ask AI, or can you just already visualize in your head, no, I think this is what I want it to look like? Do you use AI at all? Curious to know.
I do. Yeah, I use AI a ton to like plan a shot. Like we're about to shoot like a really cool track and field video, but I'm still trying to plan. Like Bobby, our video guy, knows exactly what he's going to do, but I'm trying to figure it out. I'm like, okay, so you're saying they're going to be on the track and then we want the camera to go like this. So I just like kind of compiled the components and made an AI video. I'm like, oh yeah, this is cool. This is kind of like what we want to replicate. So it's so good for ideating, but it's also really cool for I don't know if you've seen any of like the realtor videos on Instagram recently. People are like going through empty $1 million mansions, and then all of a sudden, like with a click, there's people in there and there's couches and it's fully furnished.
Oh, that's cool.
And that's all AI.
Yeah.
And like I know it's AI, but it looks, you can't like tell. It looks like it was perfectly done.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, that's a great use of AI. And I've actually used AI to like transition between just like for like literally half a second. If I have one clip and I like need to get to another clip somehow, you can like kind of combine those two and it just looks so good if you know how to make it look good, which is another thing. Like AI is not going to replace video editors. You still need someone like to know how to polish it up, because a lot of businesses these days are trying to use AI. And then I even saw one that used an AI logo, and like it's just like, okay, like you're supposed to like, maybe use it as a concept, or you can use it, but make sure you tweak it up and do something yourself. Whereas some people are just using it straight out, and that's just we're not at that point yet where you can do that. You can get pretty cool ideas, but it's just not fully there.
I've seen the transition thing. So I've seen a couple of Instagram videos where they've basically got a lot of them are where I think they're using Kling to do the transition, but then they're also like, most of them are like outfit videos where they're in one outfit and then they take a picture and then they quickly transition to another outfit. But it's like a cool, it's almost like they swivel around and it morphs and it kind of melds on to their new outfit. And I'm like, that's so cool. And I'm like, how did they make that? That's probably took hours in editing. They're like, no, they just put one image in Kling and Kling AI. They then take the last frame and then the end frame, then ask it to transition the two outfits. And I'm like, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. And that's where I think as a solo creator as well, it's cool that we have access to that stuff. And I probably won't be able to polish it as great as someone like you will, but it gives me an opportunity to express my creativity. And you talked about an AI created logo there, and I'm not taking it as a dig, but mine's an AI created logo. I probably could have spent hours, and I think this is one of these things as well. I mean, I'd love to take if you've got any hints or tips of what you think I could do. Obviously, I went through many renditions of asking the AI of like, what could I do here and tweak that, blah blah blah. I don't have the skills necessary to I probably could, but it'd take me 5 more hours of my time to figure out how to make a logo, etc. So like, yeah, with what I don't know if you're familiar with a logo. I tried to have like this ripple motif because the idea of the Sonderverse and Sonder and 6 degrees of separation is that you kind of the ripples move on from one person to the next person. You get this message out there. So, and I wanted it simple and minimalistic, and that's what ChatGPT gave me. It gave me initially it gave me a slightly different one. I said an extra layer of rings and all this kind of stuff. But yeah, how do you?
I take a look at.
Go on.
Yeah, I take a look at your logo, and it's like you said, simple and minimalistic. Like the one that I was talking about before. First off, it's not for like an internet company. Like I would have a differentiation between like a company that's fully online and a company that's like in person. Like, and if you're doing like an in person, like this is like company with tons of employees. This logo was really intricate. But it was so intricate that you could tell it was AI. In fact, I think the logo that I use, I also had AI use it because I'm all for AI. I'm all for the use of an AI logo on the internet, especially when it's simplistic. And like you said, many renditions, but like the person that just like types it in, it's very intricate and uses it for their like actual physical company. That's, I think, I mean, it's not like I hate it, but it's also crossing a line that I personally wouldn't want to cross.
Yeah. No, I get that. So you are excited for the future. You're excited for finishing your studies, I imagine. I remember being excited to finish them, and I was just like, it is daunting, but I think it's also more exciting because I'm like, oh God, I don't have to do exams anymore. I don't have to, I don't have that looming over your head. Unfortunately, you get into adult life and then exam deadlines just become job deadlines, and you get new. I guess it doesn't feel as existential crisis as like exam deadlines, because if you fail an exam, you feel like your future's gone, kind of thing, and it's like, well, I got a crap grade now, and everyone's going to judge me forever. But then you get like 5 minutes into the working world, and everyone's forgot what grade you got. No one cares anymore. It's about it is literally just a tool to get you through the first door, kind of thing, I guess. It does build you a lot of skills, obviously, and knowledge throughout your whole studies. But does anyone actually remember what grade you've got after about 6 months into the company? They don't, unfortunately. So, but yeah, I do remember being like, thank the Lord I can finish now and I can go and do and discover myself, etc. So you've got that coming down the line. You've obviously in the door with Forward Minded Media and Jake and the team doing that. You're starting up your YouTube business of your own, all while juggling your own personal life as well. So how do you find that? How do you find having to be here, there, and everywhere with all this video editing and starting your own passion projects up and reinvigorating them? What is your personal situation like? I know in our kind of introductory conversation, you're saying that you're getting married this summer. So, congratulations. 21. I mean, I've got lots of questions about this, Luke. I mean, I'm 30 and I'm 30 and I'm single, and the sound of someone getting married at 21 is very traditional, I would say. But it's amazing. It's amazing the fact that you found the love of your life so early on. So I'd love to hear the story about that and how that's come about, and how do you manage that alongside this very driven, hungry entrepreneurial spirit?
Yeah, for sure. That's, like I said, I'm like running around like crazy. It's just a lot of work, and going to the work aspect, like, I don't want to work too much to the point where my personal life just takes a hit. So yeah, I am engaged to the love of my life, Brett. She's actually back here. You might be able to see her a little bit on my picture frame. So she is just so amazing and has supported me in everything that I do, from video editing, from not even knowing what I'm gonna do, but she's like, I'm here for you no matter what. And that's the thing that just really, ever since I started dating her, like my
Hmm.
sophomore year of college, I was like in not initially, but like maybe like 6 months down the line, I'm like, oh, I gotta get stuff figured out. Like I gotta
Yeah.
like work really hard and like start doing stuff. Because before that, I was on scholarship to play video games at
Hmm.
college, and I would like play Valorant, and I was just playing that way too much. And now I actually have a reason to like go and do something, go further in business, which is great. And I love business, and like
Hmm.
everybody works, so it's an important thing. But that's not why I'm doing this. I'm not doing this for like money to buy a brand new car. Like, yeah,
Hmm.
some of the equipment I have is expensive to like
Hmm.
be able to do the business and continue it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But it's actually to like, provide for not only her, but for a future family.
Hmm.
And it just, everything that I see and do research on, it's like, because like I was a little bit like, this is kind of younger to get married. It's a little bit younger than my parents, although they were kind of close to this age. So that would also be a factor of why it's like I might be a little bit more accepting to do it that rather than like people with parents who were married at like 30 or something. It's always like the nurture versus nature type thing.
Yeah.
But also like it's just I know like for a fact, like for my own being, that like I wasn't made to just like have the love of my life, but then just, push off marriage and just like, oh,
Hmm.
or maybe just intentionally like not try being married to the love of my life for as many years. Cause we only have like 60 or 70 years on this
Yeah.
earth. And like, I personally, I just want to, if you find the one, you get married right away and have as much time with them as possible. Whereas some people just end up waiting around.
Yeah.
But otherwise, like other people have different goals, and that's totally fine too. It's
Hmm.
just more, I met the one in college and at a place that was a good environment, and it was just amazing. And
Hmm.
yeah, from there, just I prayed about it, and it all worked out. It's amazing. It's such a big blessing.
So yeah, there's so many things to kind of touch on. So are you the first within your circles to make this move at your age? Like within your friendship groups, are you the first to make the move in such a big way?
I'm actually not.
Are you
No,
not?
I have
Okay.
a friend from high school that got married when he was 19. So that's
Wow.
also probably part of it. It's really cool to see just like I think it's just beautiful. I think
Hmm.
it's
Yeah, yeah,
beautiful when
yeah,
you
yeah,
find
yeah.
someone um and it's just I I don't think age should really play that much of a factor unless you're obviously making bad decisions and you're like immature. Like as long
Yeah,
as
yeah, yeah.
you recognize the fact that, it's a big decision,
Hmm.
like, and you like there's no reason you can't make that decision sooner
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
if it all works out, obviously.
Yeah, my parents they got married early on. Uh, I think I was born, and then months later they got married. They've been together for quite a while, so like people, the generation before me would get married younger. I think some of the delays nowadays are just financial. Sometimes, like I know
Mhm.
plenty of people that have got engaged, but then like we can't afford the wedding right now because they can't sometimes afford the wedding that they would want, and I completely agree with that. Like if you want to be able to get 80 100 family members there, and that's obviously what's going to make your day special, then work up to it, and it's still a goal. So I imagine there's plenty of people out there that age again is not really a factor, just money is, and I think it's unfortunate for a lot of us nowadays, isn't it? That even like things like buying a house, that's another big move that you could make with
Oh,
someone. Like to buy a house with someone, that's another thing that you would do it younger, but again, money just kind of is a limiting factor, and it's hard. And if you're in the lucky position, do not blame you at all for making that step. And if you think it's this is now the perfect time, then all the power to you, obviously. I'd love to know, you said pray for that as well. Religion, how does that play into your thoughts around marriage? And do you think it influenced your kind of decision this early on? Do you feel, I don't know if I'm not religious. I've said this to other people. I used to be more atheistic because I'm a scientist. I grew up a scientist, and I think that's generally a lot of the past for a lot of scientists. As I've got older and wiser, and I've realized that actually there is more of a spiritual element to the world, to the universe. Now, I've not landed on any kind of religion to follow, but I listen to a lot of religious content. I'm very open-minded. I like speaking about it. And I mean, when I was brought up at school, I think there was a lot of Christian values kind of said in school. So obviously I'm very aware of it. And it's probably played a heavy part into many people's lives growing up, like to many of the 10 Commandments. I mean, so many of them are relevant. So like, yeah, and they're just the ground level for most of how, life works and societies, etc. But does religion bring a part of your thoughts around marriage and how you want to play that out?
Yeah, for sure. So I'm a Christian, and the main purpose of marriage for a Christian is, like, a quote that I learned is to walk together towards heaven, because that's the end goal. It's not supposed to be, oh, I just want to because, like, oh, my emotions are like this or whatever. The end goal is to go to heaven, not because of what you do, but just because Jesus died on the cross, which is a beautiful thing. Once again, a lot of religions are like, you must do this, this, and this. And the 10 Commandments, yeah, I mean, obviously you're supposed to, but no one does. Like, no one can follow it perfectly. And so there's a lot to unpack about what you said too, because about the scientist thing, I know that's how, like, it seems to be trending in America right now. But like, I forgot, like, all the old scientists, like Isaac Newton. I can't remember if he was one, but yeah, it's probably him. And like, there's like tons more. Albert Einstein, even at the end of his life, tons of these people who made like significant, like, impactful discoveries in science were actually Christian and did it because they founded their beliefs in this. So I think the two can go hand in hand. And it's actually kind of funny because a lot of people are like, you can't be a scientist and be a Christian. There's no science in the Bible. There's no chemistry. There's no biology. There's nothing about that, like, in the Bible. So it's very interesting. There's obviously ways you can interpret things that, whatever. But as for getting married, obviously I want to I'm doing it not because of myself. I'm trying not to be selfish. That's what marriage is all about. I'm trying to I have to, like, keep God number one, and then my fiance, future wife, Brett, he's going to be number two in my life, because I want to glorify God first. So, obviously I prayed about, like, everything, like, in all I do. And I trust that, I can't, like, I'm not going to get a sign like, oh yeah, this is the one. This is, like, the way you should go. You have to get married in 5 years from now, do this. You just have to, trust your gut, but not trust your gut, trust your God. That's kind of what I would say. But obviously it's been a huge factor in just having a very Christian culture in America, is what we were founded on, and how we've been able to have, like, flourish in America. I would say it's because of Christian culture, and just the way we're kind of drifting further away from that, which for me is sad. But that's the kind of culture that I surrounded myself with at the college that I went to. And I just, like, absolutely, like, was able to make a clear decision rather than being distracted by a bunch of other things at other places.
Yeah. So religion and God for you, I heard an analogy, like, it's the analogy of the captain and the crew member. I don't know if you've got similar kind of analogies, like one rows and one steers, and God's the one who steers, and you're the one who rows and puts in the effort and puts in the hours, but he will guide you in a way. So he's steering the ship, but you're doing the one putting in the work. How would you say that you agree with that sentiment? Because you've said that God still is number one. So he is the guide on how you would go about potentially having intention in your life, going about in life, treating others, treating yourself, etc. How does previous guests as well were quite religious, and they talked about intention setting. Does your religion also play into your mindset with your entrepreneurship as well? Does it help there, or does it play a factor? What does religion mean to you, really? Like how do you? I know everyone kind of lives it or practice it, however you want to say it, in different ways. Are you every Sunday at church? Like how? I'd love to know. Like personally, how does religion play a place in your life?
Yeah, for sure. So first off, I wouldn't really call it religion. I mean, it is religion. That's what people would call it, but there's a lot of negative connotations that can come with that as well. It's just I follow Jesus and the Bible.
I heard the same thing. Thing from previous
yes.
guests. Yeah.
And then so going back to the steering the ship and the entrepreneurship part, it's really cool because I believe 100% that God is in control, but I also believe that you can put in a lot of work and in bad directions and good directions. And, I pray I'm on the good direction. But the cool thing is that in the Bible, before there was any sin in the world, there was a perfect world, there was still work. Like work was Adam in the garden, maintaining the trees, the animals and all that. And it was the work that he did was pleasing to God. And I'm like, really? There was work before all this? Like most people don't like work, but like that made me realize that you can work and work really hard and still have like a plan, like God as your number one, and like trust that he will have everything come out, not for your good, but not for your selfish ambition but for his good, which ultimately it would be your good as well. And there's probably a lot more things that you mentioned that I forgot. My head is like in a jumble of places. There's so much we could talk about here. It's amazing.
I'm very bad at just asking very broad questions and then also interjecting about 7 different thoughts. My brain goes all over the place. So
Mine too.
The captain and the crew member and setting intentions and having him as a guide. So in your entrepreneurial journey, you're saying that, would you say that you've settled on, would you say that you are following a path that you believe that God has put you on? Like you in yourself, you feel like, whether it's, how do you feel about, I have sometimes an obsession with old words, like that we don't really use anymore, like nobility and honor and all these kind of oldie worldy words. Like, I guess when you sometimes, if I think as a non-religious person, non-pious person, if God was going to give you something or kind of put you on a path, my brain would always think it's got to be a noble path then. Like I've got to be helping people or serving in a way. Like your career path right now is video editing. So like to be like, oh, God put me on this earth to be a great video editor. Like sometimes, you know what I mean? Like it doesn't sometimes compute in the brain. But I guess there is always ways to, because that is what you seem to be very talented at and is your gift. Like your God-given gift is that you're good at that and you've honed it and you keep following it. And I imagine I spoke to someone before as well, like this idea of being pushed in life or pulled in life. Do you have a word that you resonate with? Do you feel like you're pushed or pulled in life?
I pushed or pulled. Like, would you say pushing is like you doing the work, or
I'm asking you, like just on the vocabulary itself, just how do you feel? Do you feel like you're being pushed in life or pulled in life? I have my answer. I'll tell you afterwards.
I would say that I'm like, it's weird because like I do have this love for media and editing that wasn't really like, I didn't really have a choice, I would say. I just kind of like, I mean, I just really found a passion here. And that's just kind of, some people it's sports, some people it's like whatever it is that they do. So this was something that I didn't really control. And I got into it at such a young age. It was obviously like a passion I had early on. So for that, I don't know why I really like it. I don't know why I really like sitting behind a computer making things look really cool rather than being the one that holds the camera because that's a whole debate in and of itself, whether you're
Yeah.
a person who loves shooting, hates editing, or loves editing, hates shooting. But I would also say that even though that's just kind of like how I am, I'm also like pushing myself forward in the sense of I get to,
Mm-hmm.
in a sense, choose my direction of where I want to go.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously that can change. I can't predict the future. I can't all of a sudden, if I wanted to, which this is not a goal of mine, like get into Hollywood. Like
Yeah.
that's, I can't like guarantee that, but it's something that you can work for. So I feel like that there is a very much a level of control that a person has in their life. Because if you don't believe that, then you can just be lazy and then just kind of, oh, this just it isn't for me. Stuff like that.
So if I was to answer, I think it's a semantics of words, pushed and pulled. I would say that I've settled on, I feel doing this show, doing what I'm doing now, following my passion, feels more like a pull, like I'm pulled towards it, like something in me. And if I'm thinking otherworldly, like not just my own thoughts or what my parents think or what my friends think, there is this kind of, there's an energy in me that pulls me towards, I want to make this content. There is something that draws me towards speaking to people, learning their stories, and encouraging people to make more people-to-people relationships. Like that's what pulls me. Like there's something being drawn out of me to want to do this. I don't know if you get that same feeling with I can feel that energy when you said that. Like I sat down, I decided that I wanted to spend 5 hours to make a video on how to do it. Like something pulled you towards that. Like you were like, some energy just came out of you. I'm going to create this today. And you followed that inspiration. And obviously it turned out massive. It got 3.4 million views. So would you say that how I've kind of explained that there, would you say that there is something that pulls you in a direction? Obviously, you're kind of pushing yourself still and you're setting an intention and a path that you want to go down. But would you say that this video editing media is something that you just feel like within you, there's something that's drawn you towards that? And that is maybe something that God put on your soul? I don't know. I mean, I sometimes, I'll be honest with you, I cringe sometimes when I try to understand how people like to use these terminologies. Like, is it cringe for me to say like God put this on your soul? I don't even know. Like, I don't know how this kind of how it all works. But yeah, how
I wouldn't say
rambling.
it's cringe to say that, but like I also can see how that is like, oh yeah, this is like the path that God chose for me, which it is. But you also you can try a lot of things in this world, and ultimately if one works, that could be God's path. So I can see how that's like confusing for a lot of people. But yes,
Yeah.
I would 100% say that I'm being pulled in that sense.
Yeah.
I just have this like, yes, and like a drawing to creating videos and like just being on the internet and making videos to help, whether that's social media or for marketing purposes or whatever it is. And it's kind of like an art form. I never really liked calling myself an artist. There are some people that love calling themselves an artist. Like, I'm an artist. And I was like, I wouldn't really call myself an artist, although that is what I am. It's not a word. I don't know why. I can't really put into words why I don't like calling myself an artist. Because I would more say that I'm doing this for either fun or for a business. It's not like to express myself. In fact, most of the times I'm not expressing myself. I'm expressing what the client wants in just in the best visually polished way, if that makes sense. So it's an interesting way to think about things.
Are there other terms that you affiliate more with then, like an engineer or a science? Like, is it a science or is it?
I would say entrepreneur. I would say
just
entrepreneur.
Yeah. Okay, yeah.
Yeah,
okay.
I would 100% say, and that's not even like a bad thing to be in a company. A lot of people are like, oh, if you're an entrepreneur, you have to be doing your own thing. It's actually a very common theme for businesses these days to be hiring entrepreneurs or entrepreneurial like people that they can work in their business creating brand new like things and more types of products, more content, whatever it is.
Yeah. So with religion then, and you're getting married and all that kind of stuff, does so the future that you're kind of building together, you said that all of this again is to serve to be a provider, hopefully at some point.
Mhm.
I love to ask this question as well. I don't know if you ever think about it. I do. Like, what does it mean? When do you feel like you're a man? Like that transition. Do you feel like you're there yet at 21? I even now, I would say that recently for myself, sometimes it was like, oh, how do you look like a man? You know, thank God you're a little bit baby faced, Luke. You're a little bit baby faced.
Yes, yeah,
Getting the
100%.
old. I mean, I've still got a patchy ass beard, so like I'm still not there yet. I'm not the most manly looking fella. But I was like, what at one point, because like, you know, I left uni and I was like, yeah, I don't feel like a man yet. Like I'm still figuring out my path, what my calling is, all this kind of stuff. But then you've got things like you're now getting married. I'm like, oh, that's kind of you're growing up. That's kind of mature to be there. But like in your own head, do you even think about this kind of thing? Like, I would say that I would consider at that manhood stage, because I've actually transitioned recently into more like being more of that dependable person for my family members. Like, I've got my sister and my nephew living with me at the moment, so I kind of like I'm being there to help them. Generally, when there's issues going on in the family, whether it's can you come and sort this bit of DIY out, or hey, I need can you just help me out? Can I borrow a couple of quid for this month? Like, I'm that dependable person of like, okay, Kyle will just get a job done. So in that way, I feel a level of responsibility, but I'm not married. I've got kids. Like, there's so many different factors that you could use as levels for like feeling like a man. How are you at the moment? Like, you're in a very transitional phase of like going from adolescence to manhood now. How do you play that in your mind? Do you have any thoughts about that? I'd just be curious, because I remember when I was 21 and I was like, yeah, I feel very much still like a kid right now.
Me too. But when I was younger and when I was like 12 and I saw a 21-year-old, I thought they were like a man. Like, it's kind of crazy. It's all like just
Yeah.
perspective.
Yeah.
I personally, I still feel like, oh yeah, I don't really know what I'm doing. But does anyone really ever know what they're doing?
Yeah,
Like, you can
so
feel
true.
a little bit more comfortable. But I would say responsibility, like you mentioned, is a good thing to have. Just for anyone, and not really to like feel anything, but like to just be responsible. You're going to be more productive because you have to be. Um, you mentioned it before. Something that scares me is like buying a house. Like, how on earth? Like, that doesn't seem even possible. Like,
Really?
nowadays, and it's crazy. I mean, who knows? I don't know a lot of things. I don't know much house DIY stuff. But one thing that I do like, I love learning. Like, I love YouTube, like I mentioned. So I have this like kind of idea in my head that no matter what it is, it could be fixing a car, fixing up a house. It could be if I wanted to learn how to dance. It could be whatever I wanted. I would learn how to do it.
Yeah.
At a proficient level. And if I wanted to, which I don't want to learn how to dance, but if I did, I would like, I have this like notion inside of me that I would be the best dancer. Like, I would be the best. I think I'm a lost cause if I wanted to try becoming a singer. I'm so bad at like music and stuff. But in terms of like responsibility and like becoming like feeling like a man, I think you don't really need to feel like one. You just need to be one, I guess.
Yeah.
Like, you just kind of have to, I don't know. You don't have to have stuff figured out, but you have to really just work hard at whatever it is that you do. I think that's what I would say. Just do a good job at whatever it is you do.
Yeah, no, I like that. I like the way you've poised that there. It's the willingness, even if you don't have the capacity or the ability or capability to do something, you've got the willingness to go and do that and figure it out and be competent to that. So like you said with the dancing, like I don't even want I mean, I love dancing. I mean, I'm not very good at it, but I love a good dance, and I'd love to go learn something like tango or salsa or whatever. I'm kind of drawn to the kind of romanticness of it. But yeah, like I don't know how to change a tire. I'll be honest, like I haven't got a clue. could I figure out how to do it? Yes. But I mean, like oldie worldy, like, oh, if you can't change a tire, you're not a man. Like if you can't, if you don't know how to, well, light bulb's easy, but I don't know, some really complicated DIY thing, put up a studded wall, you're not a man. And as we go into like the even more like the modern world with AI and stuff, like when are so many things that we're going to be considered like manual processes that are now just going to be so automated? Like I don't know how to change a tire because one I've never needed to, and two, I just ring up the AA and some person will be here in about 20 minutes to sort it out for me. So why do I need to? It's like so easy. Even like the daunting process of like, what am I going to do for getting a house? Like there's so many things in there, but you're going to be a step ahead of some other people of taking that leap of faith of like, I'm in marriage. And I think that is for me, that's a very manly thing. And obviously I think even on the other side, was it Brett, you say your other half is called? Like,
Yep.
And that's a big step into womanhood. Like, and there's obviously there's different ways that people want to have a marriage and live through a marriage, but like the companionship of the two of you, you know, is going to make a man out of you and make a woman out of her, isn't it? Kind of going through that. And how long have you been together then so far?
It's been about 2.5, not quite 2.5 years.
Yeah.
But we met each other sophomore year, early. Actually, we met each other freshman year of college, so we've known each other for pretty much the past 4 years.
Yeah.
But we didn't start dating until our sophomore year, so a year after that.
And do you live together now?
No, we do not. She lives in an apartment with her friends. I live in a house with 3 other guys.
Okay.
But we're looking for apartments. So for after school, after we get married. So yeah, it's gonna be cool. But like you said before, you kind of just figure it out when when you need to. And it's like, I just think that being a lifelong learner and just like, you know, always having that mindset that you can figure it out is super important no matter what you do, whether that's business or whether that's changing a tire. Just you'll get the job done somehow. And it's scary. Like there's so many things I don't know how to do, and I'm just like, oh boy, but I'll figure it out.
So I know we've been talking a while, Luke, and I know you've got places to be today. I mean, we've talked about how you've got into the passion of video editing. You've talked about how you want to restart the YouTube channel and do tutorials for people, instructional videos. I appreciate that you said that you don't really like talking to the camera as much. So I appreciate that you've actually come and spoke to me for like an hour and a half or so today. And to be honest, if you ever get into that, Luke, you are a great talker. I would say that straight up. You are good. You are good at talking. I think you've got a great personality. You did send me a few talking points through in terms of like interesting things. And before I end it off, I do really want to know, because I want to be able to put in some footage of this. But you said you can complete a Rubik's Cube in 13 seconds. That
was my record. I don't think I could do it now.
But then also you could do one with your feet in 20 minutes. What is that all about?
There's a YouTube video of me. There's a YouTube video of me doing it. I just got so like anything I do, I got so into it. Just so like I wanted to become the best at it, which I was nowhere near, but I got pretty far along in the sense I could solve a Rubik's Cube in 13 seconds. I loved it. I was doing it all the time. And then one time when this is weird looking back on it, I was streaming on Twitch and I'm like, I bet I could do one with my feet. Like I'm like, I know how to do one with my hands. Like no one's business. I could probably do it with my feet. So I did. I was like, and then my Twitch chat started blowing up and they're like, no way you can't do that. That's crazy. That's impossible. And I'm like, hey, you know what? I'm going to prove you guys wrong. So I took out Rubik's Cube, I messed it up, and I have a clip of it somewhere on the internet. I sometimes pull it up if people doubt me. It takes me a little bit to find. I have to scroll on my page for a little while. Yeah. But yeah, there's a clip of me solving Rubik's Cube with my feet. And I got $100 donation afterwards, which was so random and so weird. But
that's so funny.
that's
Is.
a part of the story. So yeah.
So have you still got that skill today? You say you might not be as fast, but is that baked into your head now? Because I used to know how to solve a Rubik's Cube by the algorithms that you'd figure it out. I never got super advanced like I knew a process, like, okay, figure out the bottom layer, then figure out the side layers, and then the last bits to get to the end. Like I knew there are algorithms to do that. That's gone out of my head because I don't practice it anymore. But could you still figure one out today? Maybe just a little bit slower, probably.
Yeah, for sure. I used to average under 20 seconds at my peak. Like I would get like 19 seconds, and that was on average, that was my best score. Now I could probably do it on average 25, maybe 30 seconds.
That's still fast.
Yeah, I actually have one right behind me. I got one right here.
So what? Could you do it live now? Go on.
Do you want me to? Yeah, I'll mess it up.
Mess it up, and then please explain to me like live what you're looking at to figure it out.
Okay, for sure. So yeah, it's kind of what you mentioned before. First thing I do is I get the cross on the bottom. So I get the white side basically, and it's getting these edge pieces first. So I see that the blue one's in place. Green's over here, but green is always opposite of blue. Just when you look at a Rubik's Cube, green is always opposite of blue. So I just move those to be opposite to each other.
Right.
So then I do the same thing for orange. I get orange to the left of blue, red to the right of blue, and then we just move it over so it's easier. So now you got these pieces.
You're organizing the centers first of each piece. All right.
Yep.
Okay.
So I got the corner or the edges, the centers in, and then the next thing I do, which is like a skip. In the beginner method, you get the corners, and then you begin working on the edges. Or the edges there. In the fast method, you do them at the same time. So what I mean by that is that there's a blue and red corner here. This was actually a goal of mine that I'd never done. I've always wanted to make a tutorial on how to solve a Rubik's Cube.
You should definitely do this, 100%. Yeah.
There's one with like 70 million views online, and I'm like, holy cow.
Yeah, because every kid at some point gets one for Christmas, and then they go, right, how am I going to figure out to do this? So yeah, go on. Sorry.
I don't see that changing anytime soon.
Neither do I.
I mean, I should. So I see the corners right here, and then the edge that it's supposed to match up with is right over here. So it's hard to show this on camera, but I do like a move, and then I connect them. So I connect them, and then I put them into place next to the red and blue side, just like this. I insert it into place.
Right.
So previously, people would get the corners first and then do the edges. And then, so I'm just going to quickly do that for all of them. So I kind of just, I don't know. It's just been ingrained in my.
Yeah. Whilst you're doing this live. So when I did it, I had to do it purely off the algorithm and then follow along, like to do the process.
Yeah.
You're looking at the unsolved cube. How is your brain so far in advance? Because I imagine you're still having to do a lot of the algorithms to get to the solved parts, like the crosses and matching all the sides up. But getting it under 25 seconds or 13 seconds, is it about knowing more advanced algorithms, or is it just the pure speed in which you can solve it, like the actual physical hand movements? Like, what is that moves you from 25 seconds to 50 to 13 seconds? Is it just the speed in which your brain can compute the turns, and how many turns in advance are you knowing? Because it blows my mind that you're going, right, I've got this, and then somehow your brain is computing the moves to get that to finish in 13 seconds. I don't understand that, because even me just following the instructions took me like 5 minutes. So
yes, same with me when I did it back in the day. I had my note sheet. I don't know if you did. I'd like write down the notes and then take it out of my pocket when I needed to. Yeah. So there is a lot of algorithms. It's interesting. There's two ways of doing these corners and edge pieces. There's something called, like, I think it's just algorithms. Otherwise, there's intuitive F2L. It's called F2L. It stands for first two layers.
Right.
And so I kind of do the intuitive version, but I did find out that at my peak, when I was the fastest, it was the more stuff I memorized, where if I saw this pattern, my hands would quickly do the move that I always remembered how to.
That's so cool.
And so that is what it is. It's algorithms, basically. The moment your brain sees something and then you know exactly you have to do these next 8 moves, it's like muscle memory. You can do those 8 moves really fast the moment you see it. For right now, I'm a little bit slower, so I kind of do it more just, I guess, in the sense that like when I'm doing the first 2 layers, I know that if I want to, like, I don't even know how to explain it. If I wanted to move an edge on the top layer, I have to raise up one corner that isn't in, because then I can move this freely. If I were to raise up a corner that is in, it's going to mess up this corner.
Yep.
So it's like I have to like look for the corner that's not done yet and then make sure I raise that one up if I wanted to move this around. So then for this one, I just automatically see that this is the corner that's supposed to go with this edge, but because these are not the same color, this is really simple. I can just raise up this corner to match it and then place it, where is it? Place it right in the slot.
Yep.
And then now I have the first 2 layers done.
And that's like
that.
the first time when someone figures that out, they feel magical. Like, oh my God, I'm like so close to doing it. And then they realize this next bit is the harder bit of like getting the last bit.
It is. So there are algorithms where you do one more set of moves to do the yellow side and then one more to do the last layer. But I never actually learned full, it's called OLL. I don't remember what it stands for, but basically it's just getting the last top side. I always did it in 2 steps. The best people did it in 1, but there's 52 different moves you have to do in order to know that. So I don't know. I do the standard. It's like an algorithm. I just do this one move and I repeat it as much as I need in order to get, I'll show you what I'm looking for here. Sort of, until I get like a cross. And then once I get this majority done, then I know every other move that can solve this. So like sometimes it will look like this on top, but I know every move once it's close. So then from here, I just go like that and the yellow side's done. Then you still have to do this daunting process, which this is the part where I can't show you guys because it's all muscle memory. I don't remember how to do it slow. I have to go fast. So I'm going to do it and it's going to solve, but I don't like actually, for a majority of these moves, I just have to do it quick because otherwise I forget. Sure. In fact, this is one of the moves I might even mess up. I don't even know. We'll see.
That's fine.
I think I got it. Yeah, there we go. I got it.
Oh, wow.
So I just have that memorized in my brain, but if I were to go slow, I would mess it up.
Yeah, right. Okay. Whilst we've got time, if you could now, before you put it back, I would like to see you do a messed up one and then just do it quick. And then I do have an actual relevant question that I'd love to ask. Okay.
Sounds good. So I'm just going to randomly mess this up here. Make sure you'd say that's pretty messed up, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Just double checking. Okay.
Right.
So like when you're technically doing it, you get 15 seconds to look at it and then you have a timer. Maybe you'll put a timer up later. I don't know, but hopefully this goes quick. We'll see. I'm just going to look at this for a couple more seconds and then I'm about to start. All right, let's do this.
Wow.
So that's full speed.
That is so cool
and
to watch.
If I had to guess, that'd probably be like 23 seconds. Maybe 25. I don't know.
So
were you timing it?
I mean, I was blown away watching. I was locked in, just watching you. I was watching you locked in rather than watching the cube. I was watching
my face.
Yeah, you were just like.
It's bad. Dude, I hate watching myself solve Rubik's Cube because I'm like, playing video games, or probably when I edit videos, I'm locked in. I just like, it's a weird look for sure.
Funny that you mentioned that because that was what I wanted to link this to. And thank you for showing me that. I think that was really cool to watch. And I can't imagine I'll get a guest on in the future that knows how to do it that fast or live. But do you think this has had just clearly either your brain's wired in a certain way or whatever, but to figure that out and to clearly you've got a good process algorithmic like understanding brain, but also it's more that kind of positional and object in space awareness that you've kind of got. Do you think that helps your video editing?
It's got to relate in some way. I would say the biggest thing is just like for me, and I know this isn't for everybody, but I learn quickly. So when I want to learn something, or if I have a drive to go out and do something, I just learn very quickly. But no, like memorizing the moves to do a Rubik's Cube, that's not that quick. That takes a lot of repetition. It's like it's like working out. Like you have to do it a lot to really get good at it. But fortunately, I just like I think it's just the thing of me always learning, always like I watched so much YouTube videos on how to do this faster and faster. It was ridiculous.
Yeah.
So I genuinely believe like anybody can get good at anything they do, especially nowadays in the internet age with enough. Yeah, exactly. And I would say that in terms of video editing, I think it's just the same in the set. Like it's kind of like these are unique hobbies and these are kind of like niche, but they probably, I don't even know. Like I would say it's kind of like nerdy, you know, to do a Rubik's Cube or to be a computer guy video editing, but it's also, I would say they kind of translate in that sense. But other than that, like it's just being a learner.
It's impressive. It's impressive, and I'm pretty sure, surely the way that your brain can figure out a Rubik's Cube is somewhat translational to what you're doing, like with the editing. Even just like if you're doing transitions, just somehow your knowledge of objects in the space and how things probably move, I imagine it probably does have some key element to play in that. So yeah, I appreciate
going
that.
back the artist thing that I said, I don't like calling myself an artist. It's because I'm very like analytical. It's weird. Like I do love the technical aspects of video editing. That's the reason I do advanced video editing. It's because I don't really like necessarily the artist. I do to a sense the artistic stuff, but I like doing the stuff that no one else knows how to do.
Yeah.
And that's like Rubik's Cubes. I've done magic before. Like all the stuff. I like doing the stuff that is hard to do. So I definitely think that translates, and it's wired me differently than some other traditional video editors.
That's it. I mean, I'm looking forward to see some examples, because obviously, apologies that when I was looking through, I thought maybe that was some of your work. So I'm excited if you could, when we might be able to splice it in or not. But some of your editing skills, I'd love to see that. And yeah, there's definitely got to be a link somewhere. And I know you talked about.
Yeah, I'll send you a Google Drive.
Yeah, that'd be so cool. But yeah, I think it's been so interesting to kind of dig into your story, Luke. And I probably could keep digging into it for ages, but I know we've got time limits today. And I will 100%, once you've got these videos started up, it's a benefit to me. So I'm going to be there. I'm going to be subscribing. I'm going to be watching, because I would love to learn a thing or two as I'm on this journey with the YouTube channel myself and Spotify, etc. So yeah, I'm wishing all the best with that, and I'm clearly, you've got the skills and the aptitude, so I imagine it will get some success and viewership very, very quickly, kind of thing. And I hope you have an amazing wedding in the summer. I hope everything goes well. Whereabouts are you having the wedding? Is it going to be in Minnesota?
No, it's actually not. It's going to be near my hometown in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. So
very nice.
A little bit of travel. We thought we were going to be living there after school, because she just mentioned that she didn't really want to stay like near where she was from. So I'm like, well, the only other spot is where I'm from.
Yeah.
But then it kind of changed ever since I started working at Fortnite Media, and I'm grateful for that.
Yeah.
So many opportunities, and it's just crazy. And yeah, dude, like, listening to your podcast, I've listened to a bunch of them ever since I knew I was going to be on it. And like, just, it's such a unique idea and so intriguing, and it's just amazing. And I want you to keep doing what you're doing. This is great.
It.
I love hearing and seeing everything you do.
Yeah. It's like I say, it was something that I've been drawn to. I did an analysis for myself of like, what are my skills? What do I enjoy? And I enjoy speaking to people. I'm very so you're highly analytical. I'm highly curious. Like, I just love it gets me into trouble sometimes. I just ask questions that are probably too intrusive, but I love thinking deeply, and I love having deep conversations. So, and that sometimes for other personality types, they don't like people asking deep questions because it can feel like prying. So even like today, I'm asking about the marriage and religion, like, so the people that could be like, oh, don't ask me that. That's personal to me. I don't want to share that to the world. And I appreciate you having the kind of confidence, vulnerability, whatever you want to say, to kind of, you know, tell that to me. And for me, it is a genuine curiosity. So I appreciate that I've got now a unique opportunity to speak to lots of different people from different walks of life. And I like the fact that I'm able to share these stories with everyone. And, you know, so many people have been kind of touched or resonate with different things from different stories. I mean, speaking to Jake, hearing about his childhood and how he grew up, there was stuff I took away from that conversation. The conversation that we're having today about how, one, you're planning your path and steering yourself forward for the future, and using, you know, God as well as a kind of guiding principle, guiding kind of captain, as we kind of used in the previous analogy. Like, there's so many things, and listening to these kind of things is like, again, when I was atheistic, and then you listen to people and you become more agnostic and you move, is because you listen to people and you listen to different perspectives. So it's really cool to have this show, and I don't, even if it stays at however many subscribers we've got, I don't mind, because the end of the day, I'm talking to people like you, and I'm going to talk to someone next, and that's the cool thing for me. Now, I would love to do more one-off videos and kind of stuff, which might come in the future. So, you know, watch that space, because I know that now, technically, with the premise of the show, I never get to speak to Luke again because you've been on, and now. But I do have ideas of, like, I'd love to get those who I think are really interesting back on in another way and another concept. And yeah, I just appreciate it for you for coming on, and appreciate you showing me how to solve a Rubik's Cube in about 23 seconds. We'll figure out how long that was. But yeah,
hopefully it helped.
Yeah, I hope everything goes really well. Definitely we'll put links to your channel and all that kind of stuff. And if people have questions for you, and keep doing what you're doing in terms of educating people on this kind of stuff. And I know we said earlier, we touched on it, maybe it's not like it's not like noble old schooly world but it is, it's going to help people. Like, your videos will potentially give a lot of people the confidence to edit their own videos that then can grow into something like a successful channel, which then provides for them and provides for their family. And it's like, you know, it could grow into a business that then employs people. Like, it could all stem from a video that you make on whether how to stream or something like that does have positive ripples out into the world. So in a way, it is a very noble cause that you are pulled towards your calling and putting content out in the world there to help people. So definitely keep up with it, man. I do like to
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah, I do like to end with either a question of if you would like to have like one last takeaway for the audience, or a challenge. I'm now also saying like a challenge now. Jake last time came in with the just do it sentiment, and that is my sentiment for 2026. Is like, if you have an idea in your head or some inspiration, just go and do it. Don't be shy, don't be scared, just try. From anything, is there any kind of principles that you live by? Is there anything that you would like to take away for the audience for this conversation?
I would say, if you have a passion, or even just whatever you do, just get really good at it. Like, just do it to the best of your ability. That'd be the one. And the other is research the history of Jesus in the Bible. It's actually crazy what you can learn, even if you don't end up like believing in it. Just the historicity, and like there's so many like actual like manuscripts. Like, one thing I just learned the other day, there's like 5,800 manuscripts of the New Testament. The next thing that comes even close to that is the Iliad, I think I'm saying that right, by Homer, and it has like 780. And I'm like, holy cow.
Yeah.
So yeah, my two principles to take away would be just go all in on whatever you do a really good job, and then take a look at the Bible and take a look at Jesus.
No, I love it. I appreciate it. Thank you very much, Luke. I
of
thank
course.
you so much. And yeah, I will put all the links, like I say, comments down below. And I hope everyone listens to them 2 takeaways and lives them to the fullest. And hopefully from this conversation, there's going to be more ripples into the future and seeing some amazing people doing their same passion projects and hopefully growing into something successful and amazing. So yeah, I'll see you.
You're doing
all.
a great job creating those ripples. You're doing a really good job creating those ripples and just having everyone talk about their experiences. I love what you're doing. So keep it up.
Cheers, man. Thank you very much. I'll see you all in the next episode.
Yeah, of course.